What is going on, guys? Welcome to the start of season 3 here in my AlaMobile career mode, and this is episode 31 and we're here for the Australian Grand Prix. And as we are now already on our flying lap here in Q1, we went pretty well through the first chicane, but there's now a Mercedes in front of us. He's trying to let us by, but is not letting us by directly, and now he tries to push me off onto the grass. Now I have to back off. What the hell is he doing? But we still managed to set the purple first sector, and now through this turn we overtook him. We could finally overtook him, so we are now in front of him, but there's another car in front of me, but he let us through. And as we now come to the final two corners of the lap with two purple sectors, where will we end up after the first run? And for now we are in P1. Where will we end up in the end? And we are down in P3 in the end. So I think it was Salvatore who held us up, but I'm not so sure. And now we come to the end of the Q2 run, where we also set two purple sectors. And now come to the final two corners. Onto the start finish straight we go. With the DRS. And we are in P1. A great lap. This lap was way better than the one before in Q1. And we will also end the second session in first place. So now let's head into Q3. Our teammate ended up in P12. No, not that good quality for him. And as we now come to the final two corners again with two first sectors, round the final corner we go, on the start finish straight with the DRS wide open. Down to the line we go, and we are in P1, which means we are on pole position, but now not with all sectors purple. And Paul David ends up in P2 and lines up next to me in the first row. So let's get this race started. And here are the quality results overall. Our teammate will start in P12, and last place we go to Yuki Tsunoda. Okay, let's start this race. 5 red lights go on, and off we go for this race. And Paul David directly overtakes me from the start, and we are nearly 3 wide into turn 1. I try to defend the outside, but instead the McLaren and the Red Bull overtakes me on the inside, and I'm down to P4 in just one corner. Now also Norris and Verstappen overtook me, and I'm down to P4. And next up behind is Charles Leclerc, and in P6 we have got that guy, our teammate. How the hell did he just manage to make up 6 places? This is crazy. And I'm now trying to re-overtake Verstappen, so I'm up to P3 now, and directly behind Lando Norris in the McLaren. As you come to the chicane, which doesn't exist anymore in real life. I had a little look on the inside, but I couldn't overtake him yet. Into the fast chicane we go, where we now can overtake him, and we're up to P2 again. So now only Paul David is ahead of me, who also overtook me on the start. As we now come to the third sector of the lap, and we're catching him rapidly as we come to the final few corners of the lap. As we now try to make a dive from the inside, but the run wide will break way too late, and we come onto the gravel, and Lando Norris re-overtakes me, and I'm down to P3 again. Oh no, the gravel really costed much time to me. And now I try to defend the inside against Verstappen and Leclerc. Into the first turn we go. We could manage to break free from them a bit, but not that much. And into this turn we go. A few corners later we caught up to Norris again, but now on the straight he will pull away. Into the chicane we go. And in the second part of the chicane we can overtake him, and we're up to P2 again. But can we now also break away from him and catch up to Paul David? We'll see. as we run wide a bit through this turn.
You're on the limit there.
Through the final few corners of the lap we go again. And a lap later we caught up to Poli David, but not directly caught up. We're still a few tenths behind him, 1.3 seconds. Into lap 4 we go. To the first turn we go, we run wide a bit, but still without DRS, so it doesn't make too much problems. And into this turns we go now. In real life this is a parking lot, I think. It's not marked as a parking lot here in game. And into this turn we go. As we now caught up to Poli David. We're really close to him now, but the ERS is half empty, so we'll see what we can do. Onto this straight we go now. He's pulling away a bit on the straights, but we'll catch up to him in the turns. Through the chicane we go. We run wide a bit, but we're closing up nevertheless. Into the final sector of the lap we go. Can we now overtake him in the final few corners? As we now are really close. I thought of an attempt in the inside, but I didn't brake late enough, and he can hang around the outside and stay in front. But now I've got the DRS, and now with the overtake I'll also catch up to him a bit. But I'm too far away to directly overtake him on the start finish straight, so we'll have to wait for the second DRS straight. As we're now really close with the DRS and ERS. Can we overtake him? Around the outside. No, I tried on the inside. At least I had a little look, but not. No, I didn't brake late enough. This time I even braked less late as before. As we're now coming to the middle sector, and with the DRS I could set a bubble first sector and directly deleting the time because of touching the grass with all 4 tires. And I tapped his rear bit, which he brought him to a small spin, but he could save it and is still in front of me, now 1.1 seconds in front. But through the fast chicane we can catch up to him rapidly, and using all the curb that exists to run as wide as possible to have a very good run. And to the final few corners we go again, as we are now really close to him again thinking of making a move into the penultimate corner, but no, this makes my exit so bad that he can break away from me again. And so he's now 1.4 seconds in front of me again. So the first turn we go and we run wide again a bit, which deletes my lap time again. But with the DRS I can catch up to him a bit. We're now 7 tenths behind him. Into these few turns we go now. We run wide a bit, nearly tapping the wall, but not. We are still on track. Into the middle sector we're going now. Through the chicane we go again. We caught up to him a bit. Now 4 tenths behind, but now on the straight he will break away again. But into this fast chicane we go. We'll catch up to him. Can we also overtake him? No, we tap his rear massively. And somehow he managed to stay on track. What was that? Just a crazy bump on his rear. And you run wide again. And also the next lap's time will be deleted. Oh no. And now I'll stay behind of him. And now with the ERS nearly full, I can hope. Oh no, I don't even have the DRS. Okay, never mind. I'll try it next lap then. Into turn 1 we go. I try to use a bit of overtake, trying to overtake him, but we're too far away. We are braking very late, so we caught up to him a bit, but we're still too far away to make a move. as you also run wide a bit. Into the middle sector we go again. Through this turn we caught up to him rapidly, and side by side we're side by side. We nearly went side by side through the whole turn, but he could stay in front of me. And now with the ERS and overtake again. Can we now overtake him? Into the fast chicane we go. We stay with him. Into the chicane and we directly overtake him. And we are finally up to P1 again. And we're going side by side, and I tap the wall, and then I tap him, his front wing, and he backs off, and we're in front of him finally. So we're finally up in P1 again. So the final few corners of the lap we go. Into the penultimate corner, as he caught up to me again. On the start finish straight we go. My ERS is pretty much empty, and he re-overtakes me with the DRS. Oh no, he stayed with me. I couldn't break free. Onto the second DRS straight we go. He will still have the DRS, as there is only one detection point. Detection zone, detection point, whatever. Into this turn we go. And he breaks away pretty fast. But through the turns we can somehow stay with him, but for how long? As we are already in lap 8, so pretty much the half race done. No, 1/3 of the race done. Into the chicane we go again. We take a little bit a tighter line, but we'll wait for the DRS to overtake him. No, we don't wait. Side by side we go into this chicane, and with a green first sector and the purple middle sector, maybe we can set up a new fastest lap when we don't, if we don't run wide through this turn, and we don't. Into the final few corners we go. Again, we are really close. Into the penultimate corner, now with the DRS also. Around the final corner, and DRS wide open with overtake also activated. Can we set a new fast lap? No, we can't. But now into the first turn we go again. Now we have got the DRS. Can we overtake him? Onto the second DRS straight we go. Around the outside we try it. He defends the inside and squeezes me into the wall and stays in front. We try to use a different line, but he stays in front nevertheless. Down to the middle sector we go. Can you overtake him? Around the outside. No, changing to the inside, and still not able to overtake him. With 20 laps to go, this race is pretty much 1/3 done. Onto this straight we go again. We brake a bit late, which he can use to break free. And into the fast chicane we go again. With a yellow first sector, but the purple first sector and a yellow middle sector. Can we now set nevertheless a fast lap? Into the final sector we go. The final few turns, and you try to overtake him on the inside, but he can hang around the outside and stay in front. Round the final corner we go. We're again having the DRS. Can we now set a new fastest lap? Yes, we can. And it's just a few thousandths faster than the previous fastest lap time. Crazy. And now we're also very close to Pole David with the DRS wide open, but nearly no ERS left. Can we nevertheless overtake him? We brake very late, but he can hang around the outside and stay in front. So he can stay in front of me another lap. What a great defensive driving he has got. Into this turn we go. Again we're lined up side by side with him, but he can stay in front of me once again. Into the chicane we go. We brake very late and tap his rear again, and he nearly loses the car and comes back to the track really aggressively, and nearly he crashes me off and pushes me into the wall. But somehow I could manage to stay on track and avoid more carnage. as we are now coming to the final sector of the lap again. Meanwhile we are in lap 10, which means 19 laps left. And into the final few corners of the lap we go again. Again, I thought of making a move into the penultimate corner, which again made my exit not so good. But we have the DRS anyways, which can help me by gaining some time on him. Into the first turn we go. But we are a bit far away now to make a move. Where can we make the move? Into this turn we go. We brake very late and run wide a bit. We don't get the apex of the turn, but we can somehow manage to not lose too much time. Into this chicane, I would say, we go, and now we can finally overtake him. With a brave move around the outside, we can finally overtake him, and we're finally up to P1 again. This took a while to overtake him, but we're now finally up in P1 on the beginning of lap 11. Can we now also break away from him and set a new fast lap maybe? Or just break away? But no, we run wide through the chicane. We have a horrible run through the chicane, and he can re-overtake me again. What a disaster this just was. What the hell? But we directly tried to re-overtake him with a small dive bomb on the inside. But no, he stays in front up. Now we have got the DRS for the start finish straight. Side by side we come to the final, to the penultimate corner, as the DRS is pretty much full. But we have to use it. But we don't use it. The half straight is gone, and we just now activated the ERS. What a crazy decision, but whatever. We're very close to him. Can we now finally overtake him on a second DRS turn with DRS and ERS wide open? We brake way later, and still we can't manage to overtake him on the inside. He gets a better run around the outside and stays in front of me. Meanwhile we are already in lap 12, and again setting a proper first sector, taking another line than him to get a better exit, but no, he still stays in front of me. Into the chicane we go again. We had a little look on the inside, but he managed to stay in front of me and also runs away. He breaks free once again, and me now with two purple sectors, the first sector and the second sector purple. This must be a new fastest lap, a way faster fastest lap than the previous fastest lap. As we're now coming to the final sector of the lap, final few turns. Into the penultimate corner we go, with the DRS wide open. He breaks away a bit, but we can still manage to hang with him, and it's not a new fast lap, as the final sector was so bad that all the effort I put in the first two sectors was useless. But never mind, we are still close to him, so where can we make the move? As we are catching up to him on the straight with the DRS, but not fast enough to directly make a move. Into this chicane we go, around the outside again, and I tap his rear, and he nearly loses the car, and I let him stay in front to not make it unfair overtake. Into the chicane we go, we run wide again a bit, and he can break free again. Now he's 1.4 seconds in front of me. What a horrible run we had. And through the chicane we can regain some time, but not enough, as we are now 4 tenths behind him, so we gained pretty much a second. Into the final few turns we go, and we nearly lose the car again as he tap his rear a bit stronger. Onto the start finish straight we go again. ERS half full, but we don't use it yet. Down the finish straight we go into turn 1, as we now start lap 14 of 29, and we run wide again, but we caught up to him. Now with the overtake, can we finally overtake him? into turn 3 we go. And we brake way too late. We brake way too late. And we touch the gravel and run wide. And we lose so much time that his teammate Charles Leclerc caught up. And he tries to make a move on me. In the end of that same lap, we caught up to Pole David, but he decides to come to the pits. So we will have around 5 laps to push flat out to try to make an overcut on him. And as we are now in lap 19, around 5 laps later, our tires are pretty much done, and we are 20 seconds in front of AlaPouf, who still didn't pit. And then we've got Pole David, who is 31 seconds behind of me, who pitted. So as we come out of the pits, AlaPouf also comes to the pits. We'll be around 6 seconds in front of Pole David, and the huge overcut worked perfectly for me, which means I'm now in the lead and can just chill out for the final 9 laps of the race and drive to the flag, as we are 5.7 seconds in front of Pole David in the end. You can see him on the minimap as well. So we managed to create a perfect overcut within 5 laps, as he came in lap 14 and we came in lap 19. And now into the middle sector we go. We don't over push it yet, as the tires are still very fresh and new, but directly set the purple middle sector, which means we have got great pace. And somehow our teammate managed to get up to P4 starting from P12. What a great performance he is having. But anyways, we're now already in the final lap. Through the final corner we go, as there nothing happened, and we'll win the Season 3 opener here in Australia. What a great performance we had. And next to me on the podium we'll have Pole David, who obviously came home in P2, and Max Verstappen will complete the podium with P3. Our teammate ends up in P4, Charles Leclerc in P5, AlaPouf in P6, Norris, Miguel H, Jäger and Sofx rounds up the top 10. And here's how the rest of the results look like. Great result. Sofx didn't have a really good race, as he started from P3 I think and went all the way down to P10. This was not so good overall, and not so good weekend for Mercedes, I would say, as Salvatore ended up in P15. But anyways, here are the Constructors Championship standings. We start on top. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.